the War Party Paranormal Radio Show, where we will be discussing actual audio and visual clips captured during the team's investigations. Hear firsthand eyewitness accounts from fellow team members and special guests. Now smash that like, subscribe, and follow button, and let's get ready to welcome team leader and your host, Eric Vanderlaan, and tech specialist and co-host, Mike Delcoro.
Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to the War Party Paranormal Radio Show. I'm your host and of the show, and also team leader of War Party Paranormal. And right over here to my side, I got my good old buddy.
Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Mike Delcoro. I am an investigator, tech specialist, and case manager with War Party Paranormal, and your co-host to the War Party Paranormal Radio Show. And we got an amazing show for you guys tonight, some awesome guests, and I'm going to let Eric tell you what we're getting into.
We got an amazing show, so we got lucky because these people are fresh off of a paranormal hangover. They're probably still, feeling the effects of it. So tonight we're lucky to have Yvette from Haunting Angels and also David from Warrior Paranormal, and our good old buddy James from Cross the Line Paranormal. Last Friday night, and I'm very envious of them, they went to Pennhurst Asylum. Yep. And from what it seems like, they had quite an eventful event. So we're going to bring them on, discuss it. We got some video clips to show you guys. I also got an intro. You want to see it, Mike?
Heck yeah, we do.
All right. Let me find the damn thing.
Do the damn thing.
I'm going to do the damn thing. Here we go.
Cool.
There you are. Yep. So yeah, that's like that. Pennhurst Asylum has always been on my bucket list. I'd love to go there one time. James is like a driving maniac. Drove through a hurricane, followed it up to Pennsylvania. That dude's like driving like an average of 14 hours every weekend to go to a haunted location. So it's pretty wild. So without further ado, let's bring our friends on. Bam.
What's up, everybody?
Hello. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having
us. Definitely.
So we got James from Cross the Line Paranormal, and many of you have seen him on the show. He's from Valdosta, Georgia. He's running the team over there, and new to the show, we have Yvette from Haunting Angels, and she's from North Carolina. Charlotte, Carolina.
Close by, Harrisburg. I'm originally from Miami, but Harrisburg.
I'm in the house. And we got David from Warrior Paranormal. And he's from one of my most favorite places, St. Augustine. So
definitely. Appreciate you, man.
Everyone's going to be hitting you up now.
I'm down. Let's do it up.
All right. So you guys did like a group investigation at Pennhurst, right?
We did.
And I'm going to let my man James take the lead on this.
Well, so basically,
get together and plan this trip. And
well, actually, it was the Haunting Angels that started this. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
And so give them a credit's due on that. And they invited myself and Brandon and a few other friends. Some had to back out, unfortunately. And then David was able to go. And so it was a really cool trip. A lot of laughs. Yeah, a lot of laughs on the way up there. Never hurt so bad laughing so much. But as far as Pennhurst, it was amazing. Just incredible history, and then the location.
Do you remember the year that it was built? Anybody?
1908. 1908.
And this asylum was kind of like some of the other asylums that we're familiar with, like mentally unstable, people that couldn't care for themselves, things of that nature. And I know a lot of these asylums, man, pretty brutal because the funding was very poor. You know, they were understaffed, people were mistreated, you know, things of that nature, until a lot of them became exposed and you know, for the neglect, you know, and some of these. And I don't, you don't want to say blame any of the staff or anything like that, because sometimes it wasn't always the staff's fault. They were just understaffed, and they were, you know, dealing with a lot of patients and a lot of people. Was this did Pennhurst also have like a lot of people that were elderly, things like that, and their family just didn't even want to take care of them anymore and just dropped them off there and things of that nature as well?
Yeah, it's just basically, if you were a menace, they considered a menace to society, or just didn't want anything to do with you, they dropped you off there, whether mentally handicapped or not, or any kind of handicap. And yes, I believe from what she said, it was like one staff member per 100 people. I mean, it was an outlandish number. It was originally built to house 500, and near the end of its days, it had almost 10,000.
When they closed, like around what time?
In the 80s, late 80s, I believe it was.
Okay. That seems typical for a lot of the asylums back in the day. Like all the ones that were like suffering, you know, with the patients, they didn't have the funding. It seems like that's when they cracked down, like in the 80s.
80s, 90s, yeah.
Well, I think that's when a lot of reporters snuck in and, you know, made it aware to everybody that had no clue. I mean, just like the buildings itself, that, you know, you look at that picture, that property, if way we came in, if you didn't know it was there, you would never find it. It's in the woods.
In the woods,
And they said it was like its own little community. You know, it didn't need the outside world for anything, so they basically do whatever they want. And they would, like, if she said if your family wanted to come see you, they'd have to make an appointment, and then they would schedule you, and the patient that they were coming to see would be taken, be cleaned up, bathed, put clean clothes on, so they appeared to be taken care of.
Yeah, they didn't want people just showing up, walking in, and seeing everybody running around half naked and ripping their clothes off, screaming, yelling, just in the pool.
Well, a lot of them weren't even allowed to be running around. They were handcuffed to their bed for 24 hours a day. Yes, it was horrible.
When you guys got there and entered the building, like, did you feel it automatically, like just like sadness and maybe confusion, things like that?
Just heavy. Felt more like just being watched and stared at.
Are you sensitive? Are you sensitive? But can you tell us a little bit about what you felt when you walked in?
That is,
Oh man, very sad. Just very, very sad. Very depressed. I immediately would hear. I heard a baby crying. I heard a lady screaming. I was already seeing little shadows, and I think some of the guys heard it too. But just very sad. You know, these people just dropped off, and they were just tied to their bed, and they died there. It's heartbreaking. Really.
Yeah, absolutely. David, what was your impression of the place when you kind of first walked into this sucker?
Well, a lot of the times I walk with a cane, so I was actually worried about falling down. But my adrenaline was just through the roof, so I didn't even have it on there. And I've told James, I said, by the end of this, I'm more than likely going to be crippled in the back seat, which actually
you probably like sprinting up and down the stairs and all that adrenaline.
Yeah, it was up there. I mean, the one feeling that I initially got walking into the headquarters building was they wouldn't allow us back there all the way down the hallway, the admin hallway. So I'm like, okay, what's back there? And you kept hearing the sounds back there, even when we were trying to set up and get ready. So I already knew we were in for it as far as a decent time that night.
So right off the bat, you were getting stuff.
Yeah. I mean, so me and James, he was handing me the case that I forgot on 2 occasions. My bad, James. But initially, like, we heard it and we looked back and I was like, yeah, I heard that too. So just a lot of footsteps coming from that back room before we even started. So that was already ready for a decent night to go down.
That's right up my alley. Right, Mike?
Oh, yeah.
James?
Yep.
Yeah, it's like
it
an
was
investigation
insane.
you can only dream of. Yeah. And
I mean, it was nonstop.
Yeah.
I think it was nonstop.
Right. And what was the wildest thing that happened there that night?
A couple different things. I mean, everything from David being scratched to we were in the basement. I got the audio, but I don't have my camera was facing the wrong way. But we were in the basement. We split up into groups of 4. So Yvette and her group went off, and they were in the tunnels, I believe it was, and then they moved on to the Devon building, and we were still in the Mayflower building. We went down to the basement. And we're down in, I guess, called the King area. From David said. Yeah. Well, we started hearing 2 men talking. Yeah, it's off the Fear show.
So there's an entity down there in the basement of the Mayflower that they refer to him as King, and supposedly he was a janitor back in the day. So James, I'm sorry.
No, you good. But we were all down there, me, Brandy, Brandon, and David, and all of a sudden we hear 2 men talking back towards the staircase, and then we see what looks like a flashlight flashing. Wow. Okay, so we radio Yvette and them thinking they're coming down, and they're across the property. And there's no other men on the property. There's 2 ladies. One was a tour guide, and one was working security. And we gave her a radio so she could just radio. She didn't have to run around looking for us. But these were, you could tell, it's just 2 distinct men talking. And we heard it a couple times, and then whistling, and just you'd hear people walking up to you, knocks and bangs. I mean, it was just nuts.
Yeah. So the overall vibe from there, I mean, did you feel that it was more of a sadness, or did you feel like there was anything dark going on there, or is it just a mixture of just super active kind of thing going on?
More sadness to me. I wouldn't say I didn't get a negative vibe anywhere. I got a weird vibe on the 3rd floor, just anxiety all of a sudden when we got up there. But just more sadness all the way around the place.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, leading into King's area, I actually saw for every shadow person I've ever seen, it's always been super quick.
Yeah.
And when I walked back towards the King's area, because we started off on the other side, when I walked back towards the King's area, I literally saw a head pop out and then stay for a second and pop back in. It was literally the darkest shadow I've ever seen.
Oh, wow.
The image was dark. I didn't have my camera on because I was carrying this damn case. Which I forgot twice. But I was carrying this case and I didn't have my camera on me. But if I were to have it on, you would have seen it too. It was that dark and it wasn't quick. And I've never seen a shadow person.
Yeah, normally, they're very darty. You know what I mean?
It's almost like I didn't see that.
Yeah. Well, I yelled back. I was like, shadow person. And because it took me a second to process it because it was already dark there, but my flashlight hit it and that's where it outlined. And I'm like, okay. So
I saw the shadow in the tunnels. Nobody else saw him, but the shadow kept moving his leg and peeking out to the corner. Hopefully we caught it on video. We did video the whole thing. So we'll keep you posted on that. But
they got tunnels that run all over throughout the property, like connect to all the buildings, right?
Was that for staff?
I would say so. Yeah, staff and some patients to keep out of sight and stuff, moving around.
Yeah, like
mostly staff moving. Yeah,
you
didn't have access to all of them. There was just a section. Because they have several buildings in some of the tunnels set up for their haunted house that they do every year, so you're not able to access those areas because of all the equipment and dummies and everything. They got mannequins they got set up.
I love me a good spooky tunnel.
I'm
from Florida. I'm from Florida, so we don't have many basements or tunnels, things like that. We're at water. We're at sea level.
If you go underground, you're underwater.
You'll have to see. I'll send the video later. I didn't send it on this because I figured the language wasn't appropriate for this show. But I turned into a room, and there was about what do you say, David? 50, 70 mannequins covered in sheets.
Yeah.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, Brian. But then we got a disembodied voice, which I caught on camera because I was talking and cussing basically because of all the mannequins. But then Brandon walked up and said something about if he saw a mannequin move, he was going to run. And then I got a disembodied voice saying, "You lie." And I just turned around. Everybody said, "Did anybody say you lie?" And everybody's like, "No," and played it back and caught most of it on the camera.
Yeah, I caught it too. So
by the way, James,
yeah, David, yep.
I hate to jump off the subject, but I'm looking at your video, and I'm like trying to figure it out. But it's almost like you're like in like an old school like Vincent Price type movie where everything's black and all you see is your head, like you're a ghost.
His face. That's all you see.
That's all you see is his face. It's like the ghost of his face.
Oh, bright cool over here. Let me turn my light up here. There we go.
No, I like it the way it is. You
did. Oh, you did like okay, the Vincent Price look, huh?
Yeah, turn it brighter. It'll make you look darker in the background. It'll look cool.
Oh,
some good special effects there, James.
Excuse me.
You said you wanted to be like a camera guy for the Haunted Files, so there you go.
I said equipment boy.
Very creative. Equipment boy. We do need a water boy sometimes.
There you go.
We'll bring him off the bench, right, Mike?
Yeah, that's right. Some high quality H2O.
we got some good fuel up for you, so there you go.
So
that'll work.
If you want one of you guys, whoever wants to jump in, maybe just for some of the viewers and for guys like us that haven't been there, what's the kind of layout? Like, do they have like certain areas where it was, like living quarters and then the general area, or how was it laid out, or was it just kind of spread out throughout the building, or?
It was all mixed up. Rooms and then offices. I don't know. It was just.
Any common areas or anything where there's a lot, like Waverly, for instance, they had a couple of big common areas where they had a lot of activity in there, so there was like just
second floor.
Yeah.
How many floors? How many floors? Was Mayflower was 3. I think the other building was 3 also, plus the basement.
Gotcha.
Which I sent Eric the video. I don't know if he's got it, use it, but the buzzard that was trying to
hissing at us,
at us and stuff. That was in the second floor of the Mayflower.
Yes, you do, Brian. You need to come down here. You need to come down here right quick.
Yeah, we'll take you to some places.
Yeah, I mean, I think the for me, the one that I felt the most sadness was Candyland. Candyland is because there's a whole bunch of pictures that the children drew back in the day, and there's just all these little trinkets, their names, and you could tell they tried to weatherproof it and put something over it to try to help sustain it. That was the only area where I felt truly sadness. Other than that, it was just more so what's around the next bend. What's going to happen next? Is this going to happen? Because when we got down in the tunnels,
anticipation, right? Like something's going to happen. Yeah. I feel it,
Well, because first initially we get down in the tunnels, and then I felt like water dripped on my shoulder, and I was like, okay. And then I was like, hey, James, is there any water on my back, just to make sure? Because it was like a heavy drip. And he was like, no. Okay. I was like, well, then I'm more than likely either my shoulder is giving out because of age, or I got poked. So, but yeah,
James drooling on you. He was looking over his shoulder because he was so scared.
Is it beard envy, James? Are you going after beard envy right now? Is that what's happening?
That's what it is. But no, even the water that was down in the tunnels, like me and David, because he forgot my equipment case for the second time. We went back to go out of the tunnels.
How deep was the water?
And it was like quarter of an inch or whatnot.
Okay.
In
places. Like boots or anything like that.
No.
Eric, you didn't need your swimmies.
I would have brought them. I would have brought my fins.
Scuba Steve.
Exactly. Paranormal diving. That's what we're doing.
Just bring your Speedo.
Yeah,
that's right.
But you would hear footsteps in the water. We would hear footsteps in the water. That's what was behind us, and we'd turn around and nobody's there. So
if I was in my Speedo, you wouldn't be hearing anything. It would have been dead quiet.
You silence.
That's like, what kind of show did we get into here?
I'm used to it. It's okay.
Matt, like, you're sensitive, so like, did you ever like felt like in any area like overwhelmed, like this is like too much, I need to get out of here?
No.
Okay.
No, I no, because I do protect myself, so I'm not afraid.
Okay.
If that makes any sense. So I go in knowing nothing's gonna harm me. Other than that buzzard, I didn't like him.
I like ghosts, but I don't like animals.
Yeah, I don't like that buzzard.
All those kinds. So
yeah,
James,
he wasn't having it.
No.
You sent me a couple of videos to share. So I got David's scratch and I got short Brandon clip. Which one do you want to set up first?
I think we should do the Brandon clip since we're all in a good mood. So that's in the tunnel on the King's side down in the Mayflower basement. And yeah, Brandon, you haven't seen this yet. So
like, what?
Originally my camera was facing out the doors. Well, all of a sudden, and we were listening back for an EVP, and Brandon said, "I heard help me," because he was live listening with Tascam. And all of a sudden he started getting emotional. So I grabbed my camera and throw it around into his face and say, "Tell us how you're feeling, Brandon."
He grabbed it by the neck, literally. I'm just joking.
Yeah. So he got all emotional, and so I just shortened it down for you. But that's basically what happened. But that was down on the King's side, I guess you could say, of the tunnel.
So that just shows you.
It was a pretty interesting moment.
Yeah, that just shows you like the sad emotion that you sense there and how strong it is for someone to.
Yeah, he said he felt like he was being hugged by a man, really? Just overwhelming sadness.
All right, so I'll go ahead and play the clip now. Here we go.
What are you feeling, Brandon?
What the fuck y'all doing this to me, dude?
It's okay.
Wow, that just gave me chills.
Yeah, man. I know, right?
That's legit. You know what I mean? You could tell that that's a real emotion.
That wasn't acting.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that was.
Brandon's a pretty straight up guy. He's not one to BS like that, and the emotion he was showing, you can tell he was feeling it coming from.
And again, what area was that in Pennhurst?
Right.
The Mayflower basement. The side they call where the King, I guess, hangs out.
Okay.
If you go down the basement, it's to the left.
And what happened at the basement, like when it was open?
As far as
asylum, like history or anything there, or is it just?
Well, janitor worked down there a lot. I'm sure there was probably other horrifying things that happened down there. Who knows in the years it was open.
Yeah, a lot of that, a lot of the stuff like that, they didn't want to document either. You know what I mean? Like the written history doesn't cover some of the bad stuff that happened. You know.
Yeah, well,
that's one of the things we got on video, and she brought it up during the tour. I didn't do it in this video, but when Yvette was doing the Delco, a lady come forward and it was sad, and she said she was missing her teeth. And I asked, did you bite someone? And she said yes. And that was one of the horrifying things. If you bit someone, they removed your teeth.
Oh, really?
So,
no anesthesia either. They just pull it out.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Yeah, that it was.
Yeah, they probably did all kinds of like experimentation there too, right?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All sorts of kinds. You could
like
probably imagine and not
lobotomies
imagine.
and stuff like that.
Medicinal, like a lot of times they didn't know how much to inject on a medicine, so they would do it on subjects. Inevitably either take their life and or OD, which makes it harder and harder for individuals to come back from that.
Just to witness some of that craziness, if you guys have ever seen, it's on YouTube, Willowbrook, The Last Disgrace.
That
was that's what Geraldo his expose, or Geraldo Rivera kind of got his foot in the door and start with that talk about Willowbrook and kind of bringing light to what happened at some of these asylums, and they also talk about Ledgeworth Village in there too, and they show clips and they showed like how unruly, they told the people that they were going to show up at a certain time, and they came a lot earlier, with the mayor, and just showed up so they didn't have time to prepare, and like start clothing all the children and like doing all this, all these things to prepare. And I'm sure it was very similar in a lot of these different locations, so yeah, super.
And
super
and Joe got like an amazing EVP.
In Ledgeworth Village. Yeah, that was one of the wildest things that I still remember. There's Joe there. Speak of the devil. And Joe and I were down in the hospital, and Ledgeworth is very similar. It was a full self-sustained, all the patients would work there as well. They had a power plant, they had a hospital, they had farming, they had a synagogue, a church, all that, and then they had separate housing. We were in the hospital, and we were down in the basement, and we went down to where the little morgue area was set up. And we left a recorder there for a little while and walked out. And when we played it back, it actually was like, sounded like residual of children screaming and crying, and like furniture getting pushed across the floor. And like, it just sounded like madness. And when you watch that Willowbrook video, it sounds the same when Geraldo's standing there and the kids are all screaming in the background and all these people. It was so wild. I actually got it on my YouTube if you want to check it out. But yeah, it's
mind blowing.
It's super creepy. Yeah, it was Ledgeworth Village. But yeah, I mean, Pennhurst is one of those heavy hitters, man. That place is for sure on my bucket list. That's for sure. It's actually Brandon. What did Brandon kind of say after that? Like, after he kind of got that wave of emotion, what was his explanation? Like, did he?
James whooped his ass. Listen, let me tell you something right here. You're a ghost hunter. There's no crying in ghost hunting. Sorry, Brandon.
Just basically, like he said, he felt like a man had wrapped his arms around him and was saying, "Help me!" Just that overwhelming sadness, like he's stuck there. And he didn't know what to do with that. Just other than you saw his reaction. I mean, and that's why we were like, okay, we need to go. Yeah, and thankfully you saw David grab my case that time. He didn't leave it. And, we got him out of there and took a break, and he just recollect himself.
Yeah, it probably got overwhelming. We had to get like some fresh
air. For sure.
You're a beast, Brandon.
Did you guys like stop and like do sessions, or you just kind of walk through and then investigate as you were walking through, or did you stop in like certain areas and kind of like
we did sessions? We went up the third. Initially, we started on the third floor of the Mayflower, and Yvette and then went to the tunnels. And our experience, I put a flux motion sensor in one area between two doorways, and I was trying to I think I was communicating with a female. By the colors with red, and the flux would go off either green or red between two doorways. Well, I walked into the doorway, she kept lighting off on the red, and I got an EVP saying, "Get back." And then it just started lighting up on the green side in the other room. It wouldn't light up on my side. Well, then I said, okay, well, I'm going to move over to this room. So I moved over to that room. Well, that room stopped lighting up, and the motion detector started going off in the room I just left. So whoever it was didn't want me around. they kept moving back and forth between the 2 rooms, and some tripwire stuff and all, and different things like that. I don't know, Yvette, what y'all had happen in the tunnels.
In the tunnels, we heard we heard men voices down there also, and that shadow figure I kept seeing peeking around the corner, and footsteps, things like that. There's a lot of water dripping too, so you have to count that out. But.
Right. So before we go to commercial break, we got another video here, and this one is David Scratch. You want it, David or James? Explain this one.
I'll let David
or
explain.
You want me to play it first, or how should I do it?
Yeah, play it first, and then I'll explain it. That's
okay, fine. Here we go.
Scratched again. Dave.
Nice.
David or Dave.
Nice.
Oh my God. Why did you scratch David? I heard a lady laughing. Why did you?
Whoa.
Why did you scratch David? Funny?
You thought it was funny? Thought it was funny?
I thought it was funny too.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
And you actually got scratched.
Yep. Yep. I mean,
like, tell them where we're at, David.
I wasn't going to get into that part.
Yes.
Well, so we were in the Devon building, and I really had to go to the restroom. So I left the Devon building, walked down to the porta potties that were actually near the tunnels, and I put my flashlight up under my left arm, and I was utilizing the facilities, trying to keep it PG as much as possible. Then all of a sudden, I kept thinking to myself, why is my flashlight so hot? And then it felt like burning. And I'm like, okay. And then I pulled it off, and I'm like, okay, this is odd. Like, this is still burning. So I'm like, my flashlight doesn't get this hot. It's a little Hunter's flashlight that's bright as anything. And then I walked back over, and I saw Brandy out there. I said, look, I'm not trying to take my shirt off for you, but can you check up under my left, and not because something's burning. And then all of a sudden there was 2 when she initially started looking at it, and that third one formed while she was looking at it. And then she took the picture. So,
wow.
But I mean, even after that, it wasn't anything that was a deterrent. I was still eager to get back in there and just keep doing it. I was actually looking to see if I couldn't get scratched.
Do it again.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
well, that's what I told David. I said, damn, man, of all the bucket list check marks you knocked off, shadow person, disembodied voices, getting scratched, all that this place, all these check marks of experience he got is just insane.
Yeah.
And does that normally happen to you when you investigate?
No,
really.
No.
Okay,
I mean, because
I
try to sustain. Yeah. I mean, but let's go. But because I try to sustain some kind of demeanor. I'm not giving them any power. Kind of like Yvette. I protect myself mentally.
They get power off weakness and being scared.
Exactly.
They get their power.
And so Brandon's weak.
No. He's a Sasquatch. Okay, I'm confirming this now. He's in there. Okay, like the swamp ape down here in Florida. That's him.
If you want skunk ape, come on down. We'll go look for we'll go skunk ape on him. You hear that, Brandon?
He's funny. He's a lovable guy.
Bring your mosquito suit.
Yeah. But I mean, kind of like Yvette and everybody else that go into these locations, you never want to try to give them, power over you or anything like that. But it sometimes happens, because again, I was in a very vulnerable state with a flashlight up under my armpit, utilizing. So they can come at you at any time there. And it seems like no area is safe for things to happen. So even outside, like the flapping of the plastic, it can kind of throw your senses off a little bit because you're thinking something else because your brain will rationalize the thought. Right. So
it's the real deal. That's for sure.
100%.
And then I really want to hear about some more about the Delco experiment, obviously. But let's catch up on the other side of the commercial break, and we'll talk a little bit more about that.
Cool.
What is up, my paranormal peeps? You may be wondering why we're holding something like these in our hand, and my buddy's going to tell you all about it.
The reason that we have this paranormal equipment in our hand is because we're giving a big shout out to the Ghost Hunter store, one of our sponsors. They're your one-stop shop for everything paranormal.
That's right, and you may have seen some of these equipment on your favorite paranormal TV shows.
Exactly, especially the Haunted Files on Paraflix.
Mike's got that right.
All right, guys, so check them out, and if you use the code word Ghost Gone Wild,
not Girls Gone Wild,
Ghost Gone Wild, in your checkout, you'll get a discount on your purchase. Thank you, guys.
Peace. What's up, my paranormal people? Eric and Mike here from the War Party Paranormal Radio Show, wanting you to remember the importance of hydration. Remember, we hunt ghosts. We don't want to turn into ghosts. Dehydration can lead to inflammation and even degenerative disease. So hydration is crucial.
Whether you're up all night investigating the paranormal, sky watching, or Bigfoot, Fuel Up Hydration System is designed to support motivation, concentration, and rejuvenation with the best immune-enhancing delivery system available today.
Experience the benefits of Fuel Up with their Feel the Difference money-back guarantee.
Visit fuelup.gg/warparty for their special offer that includes free shipping. Fuel Up for life. Hey, Eric, how do we do?
We did awesome.
All right. Well, maybe we should stick to hunting ghosts. I don't know if commercials is our thing.
True that.
Yeah, guys. Also, and if you're not familiar, we have a show called The Haunted Files on Paraflix. It's a streaming application for everything paranormal. If you use the Haunted Files 25 promo code, you'll get a 25% discount off your annual subscription. And we have our season finale for season 2 coming out this Friday on the 16th, 9:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this is another asylum, not as big as Pennhurst. It's actually a real small mental facility that they had here in Florida. It was one of the first ones in Florida, and then they shut down in the late 80s and then became a juvenile hall. It was actually built on a, not built, but it was actually originally World War II air base, and then it turned into the mental facility. But yeah,
another asylum. How about that?
Yeah, exactly. So we're gonna run a quick little trailer for this, and we'd love your guys' support and love for you to check it out. This episode of The Haunted Files, Eric and I travel to one of the darkest locations that we've investigated in an extremely long time. This abandoned mental hospital is what nightmares are made of.
I feel very uneasy. I mean,
Me too. I got like goosebumps too.
did you hear that? First thing I get is out and incubus.
Dude, that's an incubus, right?
Yeah. Out and incubus.
An incubus is a demon in male form.
Sort of happy that we're leaving, right, Mike?
Yeah.
Pretty freaky, so we're out of here.
Yeah. To be honest with you, like, there's very few places that I'm like happy to get out of. And this is one of them. Just didn't feel right in there. I'm kind of happy that we're headed out.
All right, yeah, launch this back.
Yeah, it got to a point where like we had enough. We got to go. We were like spent.
We had to get out of there. It was very
brutal. Draining.
Yeah. Just to kind of like, I think they had like 10 people that died there within like a short span of just like they were supposed to be monitored while they were eating. They weren't. They choked to death. Like just all like this, same kind of deal. Understaffed. They had one guy that broke out of the hospital in the middle of the night, got into the maintenance room and sawed off both of his hands on the table saw. Because he was because he was upset.
Didn't die from it.
No, he was upset that they pushed his release date back. So yeah,
just like all the stuff was still there, like all the equipment. It had these.
There was no graffiti.
Where was this again?
It's up
Arcadia.
Yeah. So, but super spooky, man. And then there was a lot of rapes and different things, and then when we got Incubus,
very sad.
Yeah, and it was pretty disturbing. We even found like a lot of weird medical equipment and stuff in there was still there from just being there, and there was even files and stuff still there. So.
You guys probably saw the same bathrooms where they had the shower stall and the bathtub in the middle, where they would put people there and hold them down when they give them a bath.
Yeah. So
that's insane.
Pretty spooky stuff.
Yeah. And when you're walking on the property, because it used to be a former air base, it has those old school, almost like a steel drum, but like huge, like hangar, like World War II. It almost looked like a scene out of the X-Files. Like we were like walking through there. It was just really weird. So weird feeling.
So it was Asylum and like an air base?
It was air base first, and then they turned it into a hospital and an asylum. It's like a whole big complex. There's like houses where people lived and everything.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And
I can't wait to watch that.
Yeah.
And it's a huge complex, like the same kind of thing. Like, they made it into the whole place was the mental health facility. They had like the living quarters, and they had the actual mental hospital itself, and then they had a real hospital that was, I think it was like 4 or 5 stories.
They'll be opening up for ghost hunting events, so stay tuned.
Yeah, soon.
Nice.
Soon.
Nice.
But,
Eric, did you get touched?
Did I get touched? I don't think I got touched.
I don't think so.
And Mike, you got touched, didn't you?
I don't remember. That was a while ago.
Yeah. We filmed this when was it? Like in February?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
All these investigations become a blur, James.
Oh, believe me, I know.
Since then, we've done Tifton, we've done Gettysburg.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's we have the season 3 coming out. We're already filming for that. That's gonna be coming out January. So but yeah, talk about the the Delco experiment. I'm always interested to hear how that goes, being that I made the goggles, so I love hearing other people's stories and how it went and what went on.
Yvette, you've done it before, right?
Yes, we have the goggles, but I think James asked me to do it since I'm sensitive, and it turned out pretty good. James, you go ahead, you explain, because I was just blurring out and words, and I was saying, look behind you, and then the music box would go off, and it was great.
Did you get any visuals during the?
The only thing I got was on my left eye. It turned black, like if there was a shadow on my left eye.
That's happened.
And I was telling the guys, something's in my left eye, or something.
I saw a shadow figure go like that, and it's impossible because you got red lights in front of your eyeballs.
Yeah, I've seen that before.
So that's good to hear that.
I remember it said most of our names, mine, David, and Brandon's. I believe more than once, and it actually said Yvette's at one point too. And it actually called out Delco.
Really
called out Delco during it.
lot of people.
Yeah. Damn it, Joe's comment just made me go blank.
What did Joe say? Oh, where did the spirit touch you?
Show us on the doll where the spirit touch you.
There was a man that kept coming forward, obviously telling us to leave, telling us to run. He's coming, which we couldn't ever find out who's coming. And then it said behind you, and Yvette and him had there's a music box behind us, and it started going off.
Oh, cool.
Pointing in back the hallway behind us. And as soon as we turned it around, it stopped playing and it wouldn't play again. And so we turned the cameras all back facing Yvette. The thing that blew my mind was the confirmation of David getting scratched. And the spirit thought it was funny. And then the talking about being alone, the woman talking about being alone and then sad because she got her teeth pulled. And I asked, did you bite someone? And she said, yes. It's just, there was so much being said down there. It was hard to keep up with it all, really. Yeah. But it really confirmed the intelligence of them. That, it wasn't, I don't feel it's really residual. It was more intelligence. I mean, they were reacting to our questions. I don't remember. David kept asking, or he had the other guy, Andrew, trying to ask about the tunnels. I don't remember what was so specific for that, but and I don't know if David you want to fill in on that or not, but.
That's where, because Andrew was fairly new to the whole paranormal field. He was a skeptic at one point, and then he became a believer at Trans Allegheny, where he met, to my knowledge.
I'll do it.
And that's a bucket hunt of mine, Trans Allegheny and Sweet Springs.
1 and 2, Pennhurst and Allegheny.
But he had his experience down in the tunnels, and I asked him, I said, why don't you ask a question where you had the biggest experience and what you want answered? And so he kept bringing up the tunnels. And I think that it was a question that a lot of the spirits didn't want to discuss, because from what we were told is the tunnels was utilized to bring food during the bad winter months from building to building. But we obviously know what happens in tunnels in those very areas, as well as the basements. I mean, a lot of you're out of sight, out of mind, and beatings and everything else, and torturous things happen. So, but he kept going to that, and I wanted him to get more involved with it, because I understand being new to something and then not really wanting to ask questions or be present within the investigation for fear of. What if they actually?
I ain't saying a damn thing,
right?
Damn it!
What if they actually answer your question and it's in retaliation, or it's in a derogatory or anything like that? And but really nice guy, and hopefully I get to see him again. I don't know, an investigation, but for every answer that was answered appropriately in response to us, the lights would light up around Yvette.
Wow.
So I actually have it full. I can send you the video after this, but I had a TikTok live, and I recorded the entire experience.
And we've noticed that a lot too, because we'll do the same thing, right? We'll take the tripwire and we'll wrap it around the person, and when we get relative responses, the tripwire will go off, right? So that's really strange and interesting.
Yeah, it's almost like they step in and say, okay, that's accurate.
Yeah, they're like, or they're standing there, it's like, and talking to them, it's so wild,
Yeah, really cool. I mean, I did the Delco in Hamilton, and we got James and I that last night, we got a lot of interaction within the Delco and the Spirit Box session. So I love the Delco session area. And Yvette, obviously being a sensitive, is probably better than me, being a caveman with a chisel. You know what I mean? So it's probably a lot better.
Yeah, I say that I'm as sensitive as a rock, so.
So you got a sensitive heart, though. You're very sensitive there.
Yeah, I mean, I have a sensitive side. As far as the supernatural.
But Yvette knocked it out of the park. She did great. And so I got to see that live with her and really work with Haunting Angels. So that was really a good experience, because it's always, because I'm very big on trust, You know what I mean? So like
Mhm.
me and James had this whole conversation before I even came out on an investigation. I even watched every single one of his videos, making sure that I was making the right decision by
he's a
getting
good
with the group.
man.
Yeah,
Very
definitely.
good guy.
And he's not
Appreciate that.
lying. But the
I won't
whole
I
drive-
won't tell him that face to face. I will tell other people because my ego might get pretty big.
Well,
so.
just like our way on our way up there, I'm telling you, I don't think there was at least 5 minutes of silence the entire time because
You won't get bored with
yeah.
James.
No.
He's a
No.
fire
Well,
guy.
you know, and I feel that we all have a very similar investigation style, you know.
Yeah.
And that's another reason why we hit it off with James so well is, you know, we have, you know, the utmost respect when we're investigating. Not everything's demonic. Not you know what I mean? Like it's very, very rare, you know, I mean, and we respect the spirits. We investigate the same. You know, you got to have an open mind, but you can't have such an open mind that your brain falls out. You know, either you got to look at stuff with a skeptical point of
That
view.
happens a lot to me, by the way.
That's that Florida weather, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
So, David, you sent me a video. Do you want me to play it and you talk about it, or you want to set it up first?
So this is actually in the Devon building, the top floor, and because there's a lot of whistling that goes on up there, and I really wanted to see if they'd whistle. So we weren't getting a response, and I said, okay, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna whistle to see if it gets one, and you're gonna hear a whistle over the top of mine.
Oh, nice. All right, here we go.
Wrong video.
Waverly Hills. You saw those eyes, right? It was paranormal. Sorry.
I don't actually see it here loaded.
No, it's there. Here we go. Oh no, it didn't load.
Wrong video again.
Dang it.
That's me in super slow-mo.
Everyone's like, damn, what was that? Keep them in suspense.
There it is. There
okay,
it is.
We're ready now. You ready?
Yeah.
Are you sure you're ready? Okay, here we go. Here we go.
All right, everybody, I'm going to whistle, so hold on. Oh, just heard that whistle too. Hold on, that was right before mine. There's noise over here. Yep.
Let's play it again.
You're going to hear it right after I start whistling. All right, everybody, I'm going to whistle, so hold on. Oh, just heard that whistle too. Hold on, that was right before mine. There's noise over here. Yep.
I heard it right. I heard it right in
crazy.
between.
Yeah.
Right? It was like a different tone.
Like two different tones.
You could tell it was like a different tone and a different. That's cool, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That was in the Devon building, I believe.
That was a Devon, and that's so because we heard whistling this entire time, and we could barely pick it up on our recording devices because it was so far away. And I know that this was an enclosed space that would obviously be easier to hear, so I wanted to try to get it to whistle. And sure enough, as soon as I started whistling, it whistled like that. So it's almost like looking for somebody to harmonize with it, you know. So I'll gladly do it again. I tried in numerous areas. I'm pretty sure James was like, all right, bro, stop whistling.
Now, James, or any one of you guys, do you want to like give everyone the download, like how to get in and like how much it costs to get in there, like for other teams that might be interested?
Question.
Oh, it's actually a Sierra question, but I know it's $1,200, and I have the lady's direct phone number, but just go into a Pennhurst.
Probably Facebook, right? Yeah.
No, they have a website.
Yeah.
It's basically the $1,200 covers the Mayflower building, the Devon building, and a section of the tunnels.
And from 7 to 3 a.m.
And the infirmary, which the infirmary was flooded when we got there. We did walk around a little bit, but we hit it first because it was in the worst shape, and you had to walk up a hill and get to it. So we hit it first because she had to follow us up there, and she just stayed outside. And then we decided to come back down and hit the main buildings. You can pay an additional $250 for the Quaker building, I believe it was.
The Quaker, yes.
But we just, the time frame we had, we figured it would be a waste of money. And
I got a craving for some cream of wheat. I don't know. I don't know why I said that. I need me some cream of wheat right now.
What?
Quaker?
Oh, Quaker.
Quaker Oats, man. Come on.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell is this guy talking about again?
I mean, the one thing I will say though, everybody, if you get a chance, go. And if this has been on your bucket list, just try to make it up there and get it done. Because to be honest, if you go back, let me know. I'll see if I can't make it my damn self, because I would love to go back. That's literally been a bucket hunt of mine on top 3, ironically. So Trans-Allegheny, Sweet Springs, and then Pennhurst. So I got.
Let me know when you go to Trans-Allegheny. I'll be there in a split second.
I want to go.
I'll call it sick. I don't care.
Yeah, so it's PennhurstAsylum.com. And you can check it all out there.
So
the place is amazing.
So real quick,
go ahead.
I think we're like this is like 2 nights in a row. Like last week we were with Mary Jo Chudley in her paranormal room, and now we have the pleasure to see Yvette's office. Can you tell us a little bit about your office?
My office.
That's amazing.
I love going antiquing, and I take my little K2 and I purchase one doll, and then I end up with a whole room of dolls.
You can't see the dolls hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah, they're all over. They're all hanging on the ceiling.
Like Island of Dolls.
I really want to go to Mexico, to the Islands of the Dolls.
That's what you're trying to get, that atmosphere.
Yeah, so this is the closest I can get for right now.
James can come over there and like do like a paper mache tree in the room, and you can like hang the dolls off of it. Really cool.
Well, he has been here. We've done a little videos from here, but yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
So you got some haunted items back there, don't you?
I have done investigations on the dolls, except for these 2 girls here. So I don't know yet.
Do any like things happen in that room, or is it pretty tame?
It's pretty tame. I haven't.
Okay.
Nothing's happened as of yet.
Okay.
So we'll see.
Right. At least while she's in there, she knows.
Yeah. Who knows what goes on in here?
And the haunting. Well, you're from Miami originally. How long did you start in the paranormal when you were in Miami?
No, I did not. I started here. I worked in the healthcare field, and Sierra's office was right next to me at Atrium. She overheard me talking about ghosts something, and that's
someone crazy like me.
And she was nosy and she was snooping, and that's how it started for us.
Oh, okay. And how long ago has it been since you've been in Miami?
I moved out of Miami in 2017.
Okay, so have you ever been to any haunted locations while you were living down there, or even were thinking of it? Yeah.
Oh, I've been to a few places. I even went with 305 and
Gold Coast.
Yeah.
Okay, very cool. And you guys, the Haunting Angels, how long have you guys been around?
It's 2 years.
Okay, and how can people find you? Like, plug yourself like crazy.
You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram.
Oh, you know what?
TikTok now too.
And TikTok.
I just messed up. I don't know if it's too late, but
it's not too late. So basically, guys, hey, if you guys are listening to the War Party Paranormal Radio Show, you guys are going to be moving on to your next show live. We got KGRA Digital Broadcasting Network, has a load of different shows, paranormal, spirituality, UFOs, cryptids, all that fun stuff. So make sure you check out KGRA Digital Broadcasting Network. If you want to continue watching us, you could jump on over to the War Party Paranormal YouTube channel.
I couldn't have said it any faster. I would have been finishing up the part with KGRA.
Eric's technical difficulties tonight.
Am I breaking up? Really? Or maybe I'm emulating a breakup. And David, you're from one of my favorite places, St. Augustine. So War Party Paranormal, Warrior Paranormal, is that a team or is that just some that just you solo?
Yeah, just me solo. So how it happened was I got really tired of videos out there trying to state that it was real. And so I went on debunking a lot of these videos.
Oh, cool.
And so I was starting to reach out. So I was starting to reach out like to a couple of different paranormal teams here locally to me about, getting on some investigations, and have not heard about anyone reaching back out to me.
Really?
And then James reached out to me on TikTok and said, "Hey, would love to meet with you. We're going to Hamilton on this date. Here's the plug. Here's the invite." So I went back and watched all of his videos, and to see, just exactly, because I wanted to be done right. Because just because something moves, I'm not going to overreact like a lot of the shows out there. And his team didn't seem to do that. So I'm like, yep, okay, then I'll give it a plug. And so no, it's been nice to be a part of the Cross the Line Paranormal and part of his team. And I hope again, the relationship keeps going on and on.
Well, you're gonna have more places to investigate down here in South Florida, and that goes for you, Yvette.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm down. But yeah, I mean, you can find me on IG. I don't do Facebook for Warrior Paranormal. I just do Instagram, and I'm just now growing that channel. But
yeah, so make sure you guys go check him out for sure. If he's just growing his new channel, check him out on Instagram, Warrior Paranormal. And James, where can people find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Cross the Line Paranormal. Simple as that.
Awesome. Definitely, guys, make sure you guys go follow these great people. And for myself, if you want to check out any of my personal content that I got out there on the social media, if you go to my website, flaparanormalresearcher.com, I have links out to all my socials, some of my YouTube, and then all our Haunted Files stuff and events coming up, different things. You can also check out War Party Paranormal. Our team is derived from doing residential cases. So we're a nonprofit. We don't ever charge for our services. We do interactive ghost hunting events with the public to bring awareness and to meet people and to help them with their cause if they have problems at home or at work with the paranormal. That's what we set up to do. And then all this other stuff just kind of came in as we continue to do our work, and then Eric's going to tell us about some of our upcoming events and some things that we have going on.
Yeah, so our next event is going to be at actually one got canceled, unfortunately, but yeah, August 23rd. It's a Friday. We'll be at the Old Davie Schoolhouse. So you can go to olddavieschool.org and you can buy your tickets right there. And it's an interactive event. You get to come and investigate with us with old tools and everything. And then we'll be posting up some more dates. That's going to be, because we're going to have a ton of them going all the way through November. So keep an eye out for that.
Yep. And then we're also going to be at the Tifton HorrorCon, right, James? In October.
Yep, October 12th.
I forget the dates. Okay, October 12th.
October 12th. Yep.
Yeah, and what's neat, I'm excited about this because not only is it a horror con and we're going to get out there and meet some people and get to talk to some people, we're actually going to show the episode that we filmed with James at the Tifton Theater on the Tifton Theater. So that's going to be really cool to see. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And then we have the Rock Island Roadhouse Paracon on the 5th of October.
5th or 6th.
Somewhere around there.
Yep.
You can find it on our social medias. What were you going to say, James?
I said, yeah, I think it was 5th or 6th. Also, just real quick, because I know he was plugging his Instagram, but Warrior Paranormal, how we met, he's also on TikTok as well.
Okay, cool. So check him out there. Oh, also September 20th, we're going to be at UltraCon. It's like a Comic-Con there at the South Florida Fairgrounds in West Palm Beach if you want to check us out.
Nice.
Awesome, have enough information for one night.
Yeah. I just appreciate having us on, honestly.
All right. We'll definitely have you guys back on. I appreciate you guys for coming on last minute, especially after the investigation.
We appreciate all you guys. It was a blast. And David, very good to meet you for sure. And Yvette.
Yeah. Same to y'all.
So yeah, we'll have to stay in touch. That's for sure. And if you want, you can hang out for a few minutes backstage, but everybody will be back next Monday night, 9:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Keep it spooky.